What's up, everybody? Welcome to Up at Noon. WWE superstar Bad News Barrett is here to tell me all about WWE 2K15. But first, Uncharted 4 is going to be lighthearted. Ghostbusters might be all girls. This is the news you care about. It's the usual panel of experts. The producer, seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, Greg.
My Italian meatball, Brian Altano. And this is the news you care about. Lead story. Wow, two people excited. Lead story. They're thinking about rebooting Ghostbusters with an all-female cast.
What?
What?
No, that sounds great. Can I get a clap for that? Yeah, that's great. I think it's awesome. That's fine.
I have much to say about this, so let's hold our claps for a second.
Are you mad about this?
What can I do? We need to read the news at all?
No, I
the
think
Bridesmaid director, he's looking at doing a new reboot here that'll focus all on the women. Total reboot, all female characters played by comedic actresses in the ghost-busting roles. No formal negotiations have begun. I will say this at the get-go. I am dead set against this. Now, before you all pick up the pitchforks and the torches, it's not because of the females. I don't care if it's all male, all dog, all woman. It don't matter.
You don't even like the fact that they're making another Ghostbusters.
Stop doing this. Stop rebooting everything and making sequels. Like Ghostbusters, and I know that I sound like a Ghostbusters hipster here, but Ghostbusters will...
Ghostbusters hipster.
It'll be...
Oh, one of those.
You're gonna
that
bring
is not
in,
the correct proton pack.
You're gonna bring... Exactly. They're gonna have all this stuff that's not canon. It's screwed up. They're gonna bring... It won't be practical effects anymore. It'll all be CG and blue screen and stupid.
Yeah.
It's gonna be terrible. It's all gonna be unrealistic slapstick comedy. It's not... Ghostbusters was about the dialogue, man. That's why it worked in the beginning. That's why the original Ghostbusters you can watch now and you're like, great. They're bringing that to theaters in August.
Yep.
They're doing that for the 30th anniversary. Just do that with classic movies. Did we need another RoboCop? No. Do we need another Total Recall? No. Stop doing this. Just make new ideas.
See, I'm the opposite of you. See, I'm glad they're doing it, and I'm glad they're trying to take an opposite direction with it, because after all of the crap that's come up with Ghostbusters 3, the script rewrites, Bill Murray might be in, he's not in, Harold Ramis, God rest his soul.
Big ups to Harold H.
Big ups to Harold H. R. Doesn't matter. I like the fact that they're taking a new approach to it, and I can easily see, and this might sound like sacrilege to some, but I can easily say taking the cast of Bridesmaids and putting most of them in Ghostbusters and calling it a day. That would be amazing to me.
See, again, I love Bridesmaids. And again, I'm not against the comedic roles or the female roles or anything like that. Like somebody was like, oh, here Aisha Tyler might be in the running for roles. What do you think now? And I'm like, I still love Aisha Tyler, and I still don't want this abomination to happen. Leave my sacred childhood memories alone. We don't need it.
See, my problem is it's weird when the woman says, bustin' makes me feel good.
No, it's not. It's not weird.
It's kind of weird.
Really stretching it to make it weird. You were like dragging it to Weirdsville.
That had sexual tones from the start.
I don't think that was actually in the movie. I don't think at any part Bill Murray was like, you know what, guys? Bustin'. That makes me feel good.
They catch a big ghost. He's like, man, bustin' makes me feel good. Ghostbusters.
I think they should leave well enough alone. I will be seeing it, of course.
Of course.
I will give them my money on day one to go see it.
Protest with your wallet.
Exactly. Well, I like Melissa McCarthy. I like Bridesmaid a lot. I'll give him a shot, especially if Aisha's in it. Next big piece of news. Guess what, Brian?
Yeah.
Uncharted 4, still going to be a lighthearted romp. A lot of people were worried with The Last of Us is Neil and Bruce coming aboard to head up the project here, but Naughty Dog co-president Evan Wells says, quote, we want to keep it a lighthearted romp. I think from a technical standpoint, we've learned some things from The Last of Us that will feed into Uncharted. In fact, it strengthens our desire to keep them distinct.
See, that's weird, because if I killed 12 people on the way to work today, you wouldn't call my commute a lighthearted commute.
And what if you killed 12,000 throughout the course of a video game?
Which is, I guess if you do it on a mountain, there's different mountain laws,
sure.
Everything's okay.
Wait, do you get to solve a puzzle?
Yeah.
That's lighthearted then.
Okay. That's all it needs
as long as
to
there's a puzzle to be solved.
So if I'm like, oh man,
be damned.
Which train should I get on after I kill 45 people on my commute? That's a puzzle, and that's suddenly a lighthearted commute.
Yeah, if you pick up like the sunstone and move it around and it shines through to open up the train door.
My Muni Pass.
Yeah. I thought that was an interesting. I mean, of course, Uncharted's far more lighthearted than Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's still not the most lighthearted of things when you're killing people and your significant other is always getting blown up.
I mean, I wouldn't even say like the source material, like Indiana Jones is not lighthearted to me, right? Like they eat monkey brains in one of those movies.
Right, there's bugs in the one.
It's disgusting. That lady got a tattoo of words on her eyelids. That's gross.
I think that was pen. I think she just drew those.
Ghostbusters.
Speaking of childhood memories being ruined, Greg Way, the new Ninja Turtles movie is coming out. Reviews are in.
No, nothing.
It
Nothing
totally
for the Ninja
has.
Turtles movie?
They have nothing. They're waiting. It's got a 36 on Rotten Tomatoes as of the printing of this card, which I was told as we sat down had already dropped from this morning's 36 to a 33 in the afternoon. So things aren't looking up for Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles. Brian, you wanted to.
I did. So the reviews are, they're terrible. So I wanted to read a few of my favorite excerpts here. Real Film Reviews says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is an uneven, needlessly episodic adaptation that simply isn't able to justify its feature-length running time. Awful.
That doesn't sound positive.
Just mean things. BBC says the plot has all the episodic redundancy of the levels of a PlayStation game.
That's
I know, that's mean to PlayStation.
That's old
Teenage
school.
Mutant Ninja Turtles struggles to offer anything other than a series of bloodless martial arts sequences. I like how he's like, there should be blood. And Entertainment Weekly calls it a dismal, tedious affair.
Dang.
So these are really bad, terrible reviews of the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie. Because that sucked too.
What? No, the 90s Turtles movie was
Apparently
awesome.
not. It's got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. These things have always been bad. You send adults
So
to a
wait,
theater to write reviews about these movies, and they're not coming out happy. That'll be the same in 20 years, in 40 years, 50 years. Ninja Turtles are stupid if you're over the age of 12 or us.
Very true.
Okay.
So wait, that movie actually has, the 89 has a better score than the new one.
Just barely. Although the
That's
new one's
amazing.
dropping by the minute. The other one's staying. The other one's kind of staying put.
Yeah, that's plateaued, as
Yeah.
we say. And the more I see this movie, the more I don't want to see the movie, and I want it to be good. I want to enjoy it. So I've actually been like radio silent for the last 2 weeks. I saw a little teaser
Well, I'm
on
glad
TV.
you have such resolve and reserve.
Well, it's
that the final 2 weeks is when you stop watching trailers.
I saw one trailer where a turtle was like snowboarding down a mountain into a car.
Sure.
And I was like, that's it. I don't need to see any more of this magic. I'll wait for the day.
Speaking of things we love, Greg Way, my next guest is in a video game. What, is everybody okay? Do we hurt the guy in the red shirt?
We need lighter cards again.
They need to be on their toes, just like my next guest, WWE superstar Bad News Barrett. He's in the video game WWE 2K15. It's IGN's first. We're talking about it. Let's go. Bad News Barrett.
Thank you.
How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Great to be on the show.
Thank you for coming. I'll start. I want you to know you're in a safe place here. I'm going to tell you something I told Seamus when he came on as well, right? Like, we love sports entertainment here on Up at Noon. We understand it really well. Thank you, Greg Atlas. You don't have to feel that you have to keep the gimmick up here. You can talk in your regular voice, not this British guy you play on TV.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I'm actually from West Virginia, man. I grew up there. I farm chickens out there, so I'm glad I can get to drop around here, too.
Which one of your coworkers is that based on?
He's Slater, quite clearly. If anyone knows Heath Slater, he's a good buddy of mine. And, yeah, that's part of my thing when we're driving on long car rides at 4 a.m. It's how I entertain myself is doing impressions of Heath. So.
Just driving him
There we
crazy.
go. Yeah, exactly. And he tries to do impressions of me, and he's terrible at it.
So you're here to talk about WWE 2K15, the new video game, part of IGN first, yada, yada, that's great. We'll get to that in a second. How are you doing? You were injured.
I am. I had surgery about 5 weeks ago. I dropped 25 pounds in 25 days, which has to be some sort of record. So I'm looking very skinny and none of my clothes fit me.
I think I could take you. That's how skinny you look.
Probably right now. I've got one arm, so I don't know. I still think I'd have a good chance.
Yeah,
But so I'm spending every day at the beach and doing a little bit of rehab. So it's nice for me, for once, to take my foot off the gas and get a little break. So
Sure.
I'm doing good.
Good. And when are we looking at any kind of timetable for returns?
I'll be back by the end of the year at
Awesome.
the very latest, but I'm going to be...
We like
Hopefully
you. You're
before
good.
that, yeah.
You got to get back and get that Intercontinental Championship.
That's it. I've had it 4 times already. Let's go for number 5.
Right, yeah. Well, then you're going to start getting people mad at you.
Yeah,
That's when Chris
yeah.
Jericho's going to come back and have something to say
Exactly.
and
He's going to have
stuff.
to stop me. I'm going to break his record one day.
So, WWE 2K15, you're in it.
I am.
This is your first time in one of the games.
I've been in the games before.
God dang it, I thought I had you.
This is the first time as Bad News Barrett. I had kind of a image change and a name change about 8 months ago, so I became Bad News Barrett instead of Wade Barrett. So this is the first time I'm going to be in WWE 2K15 as Bad News Barrett.
As
so
legit.
That's
Yeah.
pretty big for me to have this new character on there.
How has that, I mean, is this, for you, is this one of those milestones? Like having your current character, represented, there you are, this is everything you are. Like, how far you've come, right? I mean, you were on NXT, you were doing all these
Yeah,
different things.
definitely. I mean, I always said when I became a wrestler with WWE, there's two things I really wanted. One was to have my own action figure, and the other was to be in the video game. And since I debuted in WWE in 2010, I've been in the video game every year, and to now have this new character that I tried, this Bad News Barrett thing, getting on there, that for me, that's great. It's, you know, it's a sign of success, because there are people on the roster who don't get on the video game.
Right.
It's not a guarantee just because you're on TV with WWE, you're going to be in the game, because there's limited space in the game. So we put a lot of people in there, but it's always good to actually be on the game.
Have you been surprised how people have taken to Bad News? Like, everyone loves Bad News.
I think so. It's been pretty bizarre, because that wasn't the intention when I came up with the character. It was supposed to be a guy that everybody really hated, but for some reason it got a very positive reaction, and people started cheering me and stuff like that, and people have latched onto it. So who knows what's going to work? Sometimes you just got to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, and that's pretty much what happens.
So when it doesn't go the right way, though, you expect to be, everyone's going to hate me, and then they love you, like, dang it. Does that, like, get in your way?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think our audience nowadays is very different to the kind of audience when I grew up watching. You were simply told, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, and you went along with that. Nowadays, they don't care what they're told. They don't care what the situation is. It's simply, is this guy entertaining? I don't care if he's set as the bad guy or the good guy. If I find him entertaining, I'm going to cheer for him. And that's like, I think it's great our audience is like that. They will tell WWE who they want to see at the top, not who WWE may want to put at the top. So, which is kind of very evident when you see the rise of Daniel Bryan. He's the most obvious guy who's kind of been in that underdog role, and no matter what he's been up against, the fans have been, yes, we want this guy over and over again.
Literally,
and,
yes.
Exactly. And then you saw it kind of taking over WrestleMania this year and having this great run, obviously, unfortunately, getting injured afterwards. But, I mean, that's real people power that did that. And I think it's really cool through social media or whatever it is that has turned the crowd in that direction these days. That it's really cool that the WWE universe now has that power.
Right. So why would you go on a career path that way? Like, you know what I mean? Like, people say on the Up and Noon comments they don't like me, and it's like, well, go screw yourself. I'm not going anywhere. But, like, for you, like, literally, you have an audience who will tell you to your face and scream at you like, no, you're not interesting. Get out of here. And it doesn't even matter if WWE's behind you, because they're like, well, you're just not getting over. So, sorry. Why would you do this? You could do so many things. You're very handsome.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know, if you catch me at the right angle, I'm handsome. If you get me the wrong angle, my nose is kind of bent the wrong way, which is, I
that's
fight
rugged,
for a
that's
living.
rugged.
So, well, thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. But, I mean, this is a passion I've had since I was a kid. I discovered WWE when I was 9 years old, and I was hooked from the word go, watching Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan and the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, Bret the Hitman Hart, and all these guys, and it continued to progress right the way through until I was 19, 20, when I suddenly decided, right, I'm going to be a WWE superstar one day, and started hitting the gym and eating like crazy. And
so what changed? What made it go from? I think everybody likes wrestling at one point in their life,
Yep.
and then people like me are just constantly involved with it for the rest of their days. But for you, like, what was the bridge between, I'm a fan, I enjoy this, to being like, this is going to be my livelihood?
Actually, the exact moment it happened was Mick Foley, who wrestled as Mankind, who's a huge star in WWE. I'm good friends with him today. He wrote his very first book. He's written a few books, but his first autobiography, Have a Nice Day, it was a New York Times bestseller. Someone bought that book for me while I was in university, and it was a big, thick book, and I read it in 2 days and just could not put it down. And I got to the end of it, and for the first time ever, that made a WWE superstar human for me, because I read about his life. Before that, they'd just been these cartoon characters to me. They weren't real people in my head. It's kind of weird to say, but that was the first time I'd ever seen, oh wow, this guy had a normal life, and he talks about how bad he was with chicks and stuff like that, and all these stupid little things like that kind of made me identify, wow, he's a normal person like me. If he did it, then I could do it. So then I went from this skinny 165-pound 19-year-old English guy to telling everyone, I'm going to be in WWE, getting laughed at by literally everybody I told, and hitting the gym and slowly but surely working my way towards WWE, and thankfully it worked out pretty well for me. So.
Did you stick it out in school?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. I was going to say, that would have been the worst gift ever. Like, try this book. And like, great, I quit school. And like, oh, no, this is not what we wanted.
I completed my degree, and, I'll always have that. But I'm hoping I never have to go back in that direction work-wise, because I love WWE too much. And hopefully this is going to be my life and my career for my remaining days on this planet.
Well, as long as you keep yelling that you have bad news.
That's it.
A big fan of that, right?
Hopefully.
So then, what is it like to be part of WWE and see all these people that you grew up watching? I mean, like, obviously the best part I think about WWE, right, is like it spans generations, in that you see, even if there's just a legend like Hulk or like Mick, right, they come back and they be a part of the show every so often. You've got to be like freaking out, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you try your best to kind of keep the 9-year-old kid who admired these guys, you try to keep that inside.
Yeah.
But there's an element of it that's pretty amazing. I remember very soon after I debuted with WWE, Bret the Hitman Hart invited a bunch of us to his house in Calgary. We had a show up there, and we went over his place and had a barbecue with him and a couple of beers, and he showed us around his house and all his old memorabilia.
Yeah.
And that was almost impossible to contain myself in that environment. This guy that I had just, worshipped as a kid and, stayed up till 4 a.m. watching because of the time difference in the UK. I was watching all the SummerSlams and WrestleManias,
Sure.
and being bleary-eyed in school the next day, and all because of this guy. And here I am sat at his house, and he's flipping burgers for me and handing me a beer. So it's, it's an amazing thing to be able to do that. And, I feel very lucky that I've had that experience, because I don't think many people in life ever get that.
So you talked about having the action figure, being in the game. What's the next big checkbox for you in terms of your career? What do you want?
Well, really, the one thing that I really, really want to do is to become I've been the Intercontinental Champion several times. To me, that's the kind of second tier title. There's a title above that, which is now the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And no Englishman has ever won that title. No Brit has ever won that title. Despite the fact we've had some greats. We've had William Regal, Dynamite Kid, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. Nobody from Britain has ever won that. So I want to be the first guy to win that. That is ultimately my career goal. I'm going to keep striving until I get there. I've been very close before. I've main evented pay-per-views and fought Randy Orton for it back in 2010. And so I was right on the cusp of it. Didn't quite make that step. I don't think I was quite ready then. I was too new. But like I say, I've got that extra experience now. I feel I'm ready for it. And that's really where my career is kind of aimed, and my hopes and goals are.
I like you. You're good. You can come back sometime.
Thank you very much.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
WWE 2K15 out this fall. It's our IGN first game of the month, so there's content about it, all exclusive, all month long, and then you're going to be back really soon.
I will be indeed, yeah. I'm going to get back as quick as I can. I miss being in front of that live audience and performing for the WWE, so yeah, I'll be back as soon as I can.
Bad News Barrett, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So awesome. That's our show, everybody. Special thank you to Bad News Barrett, Nick Scarpino, Brian Altano, and you, my audience! If you want to be in that audience, go.ign.com/UpAndNoon for details. As always, I'll be answering comments. The first hour of this video is live, so come tell me your favorite WWE moment. Mine, August 9th, 1999, debut of Chris Jericho. Come on, easy. Am I right, Nick? Yeah, all right. We'll be back next week with a whole bunch of cool guests, but until then, I'm going back to bed.